Lovely, thank you. All right. I want to take you back to the beginning of this year. I was on this 4-day hike on this amazing national park in Ethiopia. It's called Simien Mountains. I think it was the third day that we ended up at base camp after 10 hours of walking. And our guide asked us, okay guys, I know you're tired, but we can go up to the last top and see this last amazing sunset. So sure, okay, we go with him.
Which altitude?
4,000 meter high, I think. So we got there, breathing in that 4,000 meter high air, very cold, very nice. Seeing my friend on the side, the guide over here, hearing these Galada monkeys going back to their caves and screaming. And then just seeing the sun go down behind this sea of Ethiopian mountains. Amazing. So I was standing there and I want to capture this moment. I want to keep it. I want to share it with my family. I want to share it with my friends. And while thinking that, I was like, hey, we've got the technology now. For example, this is a pretty special moment for me. Maybe not for you, but it's for me. And I'm actually capturing it here right now in 360 camera.
You are, yes.
So, what our plan or our platform is all about is capturing this experience and allowing people to share the world through their eyes. Alright, so what we did in Berlin is check, is it just me being emotional on the Ethiopian mountain, or are there also other people having these feelings somewhere in the world? Well, we are at a great place because there are a lot of tourists in the middle of Berlin, so we got to ask them. This is not a stock photo, this is actually one of my teammates talking to a person. And what we learned there was 3 things. Travel is all about the place and the people. Secondly, everybody was very surprised by the ease of use of these 360 cameras, which are pretty new. And lastly, well, this quote, it's not possible to share the feeling of a place with a picture. I think we can with this new technology. So how we're going to meet these needs? Well, meet eyes, welcome. What Twitter did to text and Instagram did to photos, eyes will do to 360 videos. So how will this work? Well, you get in our app, you get all signed up, and what we're going to focus within this app is we're going to focus on people to capture these moments. We're going to focus on them to make qualitative content of these 360 experiences. And right now it's going to be with these external cameras, but I believe in 2 years we'll be able to do this from our mobile phones. But I will come back to that later. So how will this work? Well, first of all, of course, you're going to capture it. Once you capture it, we're going to help people make it cool, make it look professional, stabilize it, do like what Instagram did to photos, make you feel like a professional photographer. That's what we're going to do once you're capturing these 360 experiences. And of course you can share it. And then you end up with this map, this bundle of experiences of yours. So for you, you can go back to all these lovely moments you had in Ethiopia or whatever, or you're a good slow. But you can also see that of your friends, that of your family, maybe of a celebrity who had some awesome moments. And even if you want to look like, okay, I want to go to Ethiopia, let's see what kind of experience I can have over there. So I really believe in this map concept. So why should we do this and why should we do this now? Well, what we see is that there's a dramatic decrease of the price of the cameras. Yeah. I bought this one, it's over here, for $200 after the presentation in Berlin. And right now there's already one for $150. And what we see is that there's also some add-ons for mobile phones. This is 180 degrees, but I believe it will be 360 pretty soon. And at this rate, I believe that somewhere in 2018, they will be in the next generation smartphones. Well, what does this mean for our potential market? Well, of course, the penetration of those 360 cameras is pretty cool, but we know that the market is going to explode once it gets into the smartphones. And we need to be on top of mind and on top of the market before this explosion starts. So how are we going to get some money? Well, it's all about getting a user base, and that's why I think it's very important that we focus on getting in the attractive content to attract the people to get in there. Once we get a lot of users, we're getting more and more relevant, we get more and more user data, we once again can get more and more relevant, and from that we can do branded content advertising, I strongly suggest in a non-intrusive way and relevant for people seeing it, like for example, put in Red Bull, let them make an awesome 360 movie. Gotta be honest, there's a lot of competition here. on the one hand, we have the major players, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Apple, all getting into this market very aggressively. And on the other hand, we've got the hardware manufacturers like Ricoh and LG making these hardware and making the apps with them. And on the other hand, there are some startups doing sort of these kind of concepts. Of one of them, which is the biggest right now, is Splash, and I believe we're actually invested in that one. Yeah, I've learned. But I do believe that there's still room for ice and that there's still a lot of potential for us to win. How are we going to do this? Well, we need to focus on 360 video only. 360 videos get polluted in these experiences because you got all this different content. We need 360 only. We need to focus on qualitative video. The difference between Ice and Splash will be Splash is Snapchat, Ice is Instagram. Splash allows you to make the movies with your mobile phone, which is really quite messy right now. Will just only allow qualitative input. And thereby assure you that once you put on the VR glasses, you'll be in an amazing experience. And by focusing on this use, we can make a tailored experience and create a new habit in capturing these valuable moments. Now, why should Bertelsmann act? Well, of course, I'm not saying it's the future of content, but there certainly is a future for this sort of way of content. I think we should act. It would be nice if we would innovate ourselves instead of buying a company in 3 years, so let's do this. And I think we can have quite some unfair advantages within this market. I think if we use our content network, we can get the influencers, stars, but also just really talented people to make content for this purpose and put it into our app, and thereby attracting more and more people who want to be part of this, who want to be able to make the same sort of content. But lastly, of course, it's all about the user, and I want you to go back to this moment that you might have had one day, like me, standing on the Ethiopian mountain, and realize that we can make a platform that's going to enable everybody to capture this beautiful moment and relive it and share it with our friends. That's us. Thank you.
Capturing the moment, that's your point. And you mentioned that there is a number of competing efforts out there. I have not seen somebody competing with 360 storytelling. And that's an important part, because we are considering a lot about how will the evolution of storytelling change with 360. And then you have a standalone position in the field.
Yeah, I truly believe that's the direction we should go for, but also allowing users themselves to join that part.
So have you talked to the guys from BDMI, Splash?
Not yet. I would really love to.
The next step, I mean, we should really organize a set to compare notes to see how similar the business models are, where we can add. But I think this would be a very good next step, because as you said, BDMI is invested in this company. The feedback we got from Roses is pretty similar. But you say you've got elements which are different in terms of quality and so on. So I really think, I mean, if you agree, yes, of course, we should make sure that you get together with the Splash guys.
I'd love to. Actually, when I had the presentation in Berlin, I didn't know Splash yet. So I heard about it
all the time. Absolutely. But that's great.
Yeah, I would really love to visit them and talk about it.
Well, of course. Let's make sure we'll organize it.
Absolutely.
Make sure where they're based,
I think Berlin.
Berlin, Tel Aviv, and New York, I think. So we'll find something that works.
Now, as I already told you, he challenged me about, well, it's a year ago, 3/4 of a year ago. What are we going to do with virtual reality? And I said, well, on the technical side, I don't think we have to step into that. But if you have a good idea for the content, and well, this is the idea. So thank you very much. I really, really love it. Because I really get touched by the storytelling, and you feel it. And I think everybody feels it, that it has potential. There's one little border for me, and that is, okay, do you need a separate app? Why? Because how difficult is it to be in a position of the first screen? That's the first thing. And the second is, can you win this game? Because there will be a cooperation between Apple and TripAdvisor, or National Geographic, and you know it's going to be there. So I don't know if the position will be we have to organize the content, or what position do we have to take in? Do we really need to make that a closed app? If you get it done, it's going to be a fortune. And I'm happy you're working for RTL and all the rights are for me. But that's really not an easy question to answer.
I gotta be honest, I struggle with that as well, because you see, we don't really know where the user is going to. But I believe we should start, because even if we can cooperate with Splash, it means we can maybe white label some part of it or get started, put in some awesome content and see if it works, that people need a new place for 360 experience. Because first of all, we thought, Facebook is going to do this, but then Instagram came, and then Snapchat came. So there's gonna be a new app.
But this, for example, I did speak to the people from Booking.com, which is originally an Amsterdam company, and it's worldwide now the market leader in booking hotels and other holiday venues. This can be their second step as well for telling stories, because now they are just an e-commerce platform, and maybe there's Facebook or Google stepping into that as well. Yeah. So what's their positioning? So maybe in the future you can have those kind of cooperations which are very interesting.
I think that's interesting. I think hotel groups now talk about wanting to create an experience, a unique experience.
Exactly.
If they are a unique hotel with an amazing view.
Yeah.
So I think this idea of people, as it were, capturing their own personal experiences somehow with, you know, the right hotel group would be very interesting.
Yeah, but then they deliver the content as well, you know, like the African nature parks, they will deliver the content, and if you got that position, it can bring you to a sort of explosion. Also in users that will say, hey, this is where I get my inspiration for holidays, so I'm gonna really use the app, and but that's not an easy job.
One of the ideas I like is the fact that you're open to also become sort of almost a white label solution, because one of the things, I don't know if who of you have noticed that with the last push of the iOS update, what Apple has done is they've embedded in some of their sort of home feature things, like on the watch, on the clock figure, there's a new thing called go to bed.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It's really annoying.
So I discovered this last night when I was in my bed already.
So one of the things.
When I switch this thing off.
So what it turns out is that if you really want to make use of that, you don't use that version. Yeah. But they have additional protocol, is what they call it. You push it, and it gives you options of apps immediately that you can link up to that will sync. And automatically, these players are now on the home screen, on the very top in the clock feature, and these are external apps. So what Apple with the iOS has done is they know they can't. First of all, they know exactly, and they know home screen is important. So they start pick and choose strategic partners for various aspects. And the same they're doing on video. So if you scroll, the different types of videos and photos you can make these days. If you scroll on the bottom, you know, square, 360, blah, blah, blah. So I think it's a good idea.
Okay, so you guys are going to follow up in our residence?
Yes.
I will.
You're going to meet the Splash guys, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah.
Thank you. I will.
Beautiful.